The other day I was making a new appointment for a new patient at the office, and I have to go through their like normal information to make their patient chart, and I asked her what a good address was for her, and she goes, probably the one I live at.
That was good. I haven't heard this one yet. That's good.
The dumb people substitute say.
I'm like, okay, well, what is that?
Oh man, that's great.
I just like,
It's weird that you said a woman said that to you, because that sounds like the
Yes.
ultimate dad joke. You'd think that like a
no,
dad
I
would
think
have.
she was being serious.
She wasn't
Yeah,
trying to be
you're right.
funny.
A dad would have said it, but wouldn't
Good
have been
address,
like,
probably the one I live at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
No shit. Sorry.
Here we go. Gotta
Here we go.
edit
Cut stuff
again.
out. You already got to make extra edits. Hey, welcome back to Screen Time. I'm your host, Josh Youngbar, and I have with me my co-host, Claudia,
Hello.
and Jered.
Blood is blood,
Oh, right.
or sangre es sangre. I did that just to see if Claudia would laugh.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You do it. You do the right.
right pronunciation.
Yeah.
Sangre es sangre.
There we go. See, I can't do it.
Right. And I did pull a line, but it's hard to do the intro and then say your line.
It is.
It's like for mine.
Okay.
What's your
'Cause
line?
my line is, you know I hate Pepsi prior.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. I forgot to do a line again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to come up with that. Like, when you're a host, you just say, like, I guess you could just be like, hey, I'm Josh. And
Yeah. I'll have to be
line. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
do
don't
you know
know.
I
Where
hate
the
Pepsi prior?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to, like, before I say my co-host,
Mhm.
I'll just have to put the line in there. Yeah.
Still workshopping.
Yeah.
We're getting it down.
But anyway, today, from those lines, we're talking about True Detective Season 4, Night Country Part 5. But before we get to that, a little bit of things we've been watching. Jered, what have you been watching? I'd like to start out with you.
Yep. I'll have you know I only have 2 things, not a whole list like you guys
It's all right,
say.
but I have a lot because I've been gone. 'Cause
Perfect.
It's it's good to be back, but
Yeah.
so I have a lot of little
Yeah.
a lot of
Also,
a lot of things I watched.
welcome back, the host.
Yeah.
Although also, good job, Lucas, for filling in.
Yeah. Hopefully
we
you
got
enjoyed his hosting.
But we got Josh back. Actually, this is why I saved these 2, because I had them for last week. But I was like, I think this might be something you maybe have watched. So
maybe not, because the odd thing is I watched movies but didn't watch a lot of TV. So I don't know what you got.
okay, no, I don't have any. Well, no, I kind of have a movie, but to start is a show called Sexy Beast on Peacock. This is based on a movie called Sexy Beast.
Okay.
I don't know, because I have not seen the movie, so I don't know if it's just rehashing the movie or if it's like a prequel or sequel to it. But it's set in the 90s in London, and just about these thieves that get recruited by a crime boss, and it's just really fun and pretty funny actually too. I thought it was gonna be a serious show, but it's a good mix. And good cast too. I already saw some since it's a British show. I already saw some like deep bench Game of Thrones actors in it, because there always is in every British show. So yeah, I like it a lot. And then this next one, part of this I'm going to let Claudia speak on because I think she could explain it better than me, but Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm planning on watching, but I have not started it.
Okay, I'm not going to... The only thing we're going to say is the opening scene, and we're not even going to say what happens, just the actors that are in the opening scene. Because obviously it's Donald Glover, who I love, and he is great in this. I do not like, I wrote down her name, Maya Erskine is the other main person in Don't really like her in this. But this is what bothers me is the very opening scene. Not going to say what happens. Claudia saw this opening scene, though. It starts with two people that you're like, oh, I guess these are like other agent couple, you know? It's Alexander Skarsgård and Isa Gonzalez, which is the girl from Baby Driver.
Yeah,
That's with John Hamm.
Okay.
And I'm like, why are these not the people that are like when you look at those people, especially her?
Yeah.
It's
especially him. Are you joking?
Yeah, but come on, her. You even said you were like,
no,
yeah,
she's bad.
Yeah.
But Alexander Skarsgård.
But anyway, so here, why don't you talk about that because you were pretty passionate about this too.
I just
in comparing them to who they got, even though Donald Glover is great.
Yeah, I understand the direction that this show is trying to go because the typical Mr. and Mrs. Smith, I mean, formerly it was Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, and they're fine, right?
Yeah.
So you think to your head,
like in their prime too, like mid 2000s, yeah.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith is supposed to be this gorgeous model like couple, and it's not with this new one, right? I mean, they're not that they're. I'm not saying they're not capable of doing the show.
Though?
All of you people that are like,
you know what though? I would say
not what I was expecting.
No, I wasn't
all.
either. Although Donald Glover, his outfits are sick.
Oh no, and I love Donald Glover.
Yeah,
I even like the
Atlanta.
girl in like other things that I've seen her in.
Yeah, she was good in what else? I have seen her in something else that I did like
and
her.
She's
but
very good.
Not in this
It's
though.
just not what I want for Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah.
You know.
But so far, like story wise, I like it. So that's really the only thing that's like holding it back for me. But also, kind of weird because Amazon never does this anymore. They put out the whole season.
Yeah, I heard that.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
And I do want to shout out because I have not seen him yet, and I think all these supporting actors are maybe only in one episode, but they got a lot of good people to be in this. Like for like maybe probably only for a couple scenes.
Yeah.
Paul Dano, Parker Posey, which you would know from Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you would know her from. Ron Perlman, John Turturro, and Sarah Paulson. So they got a lot of people to like show up for this, which is cool. So I'm still gonna watch it. It's just that one thing that's kind of.
And I'm planning on still getting around it. Now, interesting tidbit.
Mm-hmm.
When we were filming in Brooklyn at the theater, it's a single screen theater that we covered there. The event that we got B-roll of was them showing the first two episodes of Mr. and Mrs. Smith to the set decorators and costume designer team from the crew from the show because they didn't get to go to the premiere of it and wherever it was in New York. So like for the rest of like the higher crew and cast and crew premiere. So this theater owner had they rented out a thing and did an event for that. Yeah. So that was what we got to film. We've basically filmed everything of them like hanging out and then like sitting down to do stuff and kind of do a little speech beforehand. And then when they were actually going to start watching it is when we left.
Right.
So I didn't actually watch it, but like got to meet some of them and that was kind of cool.
Nice. Yeah. That's cool. Well, yeah. And again, shout out to the costume designer. Cause like I said, some good outfits in it. And then I don't have another show, but I'm going to mention a movie that I'm not finished with, but it has to do with, also, sorry to back up a little bit. I'm just going to mention a couple shows that I've not started yet, but just excited to start soon when I get to it, is Tokyo Vice, new season now out.
Yeah, season 2. Yeah.
Halo season 2, which I know is still very divisive, but I still like it. A lot of people hate it.
Just a lot of people think it's bad.
Yeah, I know.
It's okay for you to watch it.
Yeah, no, but I like bringing it up because I understand the criticism in it, but it's hard to find like sci-fi shows that are actual sci-fi.
Yeah.
And this show is actual sci-fi because the Halo universe is amazing. And then final season of Curb, which I have not started yet, but I wanted to mention it because that's going now.
And then also New Look just started last.
Yep, which
I haven't watched any of that yet either. But
I started it. Claudia fell asleep immediately because I wanted her to talk about it, but it was like a minute in, and I looked over and Claudia's already out. I'm like, all right, well, we're not going to talk about it yet.
That's 6 a.m. Gym time, right?
I'm telling you, that's
It was,
exactly
yeah.
what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
And then work all day, you know? And,
Yeah.
and I felt great at work.
Oh,
from
yeah.
the energy from working
Yeah.
out. But I was ready to go to
Yeah.
bed.
No, it's okay. I know I'm really looking forward to that show.
Yeah,
and I know.
me too, but I haven't
haven't
watched
really.
it yet.
And I think Claudia will really like it too. I will say though, the opening scene though, very weird color grading, or I guess that's what you would call it. You let me know when you
Okay.
watch it.
All right.
Just very interesting. I don't know what it is, or unless it's something else. Maybe it's a specific lens too. I don't know. But the colors are very weird. Although I guess you could. That's probably all just post.
Yeah.
But yeah. So then the last thing, which is something I'm watching, which is the movie Presumed Innocent from 1990. Yeah, that's when it came out. 'Cause I've never seen that movie. It's a Harrison Ford movie that I heard was very good. In preparation for, if you heard, that Apple's doing Presumed Innocent as a show, coming out on June 14th, and Jake Gyllenhaal
Mm-hmm.
is the star, which is awesome because I don't think he's been in any show ever. I was looking that up, and he's playing the character that Harrison Ford played.
Yeah.
And it looks sick. I saw
I
their.
didn't know that was for some reason. I guess I mean, now that you say it, I'm like, oh yeah, I do remember that being. But like when I saw about the show, it wasn't like this used to be a movie. It was a movie.
And again, this is the same type of thing where I believe with this one, I think it's the exact same. Like they're doing it just like the movie.
Was there a book or something before that?
Maybe that I don't know.
It seems weird. It's a lot unusual to just remake a movie into a TV show if there wasn't other source material.
Right. But it's very exciting just because
Mr. Smith, I guess, is. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm watching that, and also, man, John Williams did the score. Had no idea about that. Like the opening scene, I'm like, this music's great, and then I was like, oh, I saw the credit for John Williams. I'm like, dang.
The movie,
yeah, sorry, not the show. No, but the movie. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the last thing. I'm looking forward to that, but that's going to be a little ways from now in June.
Yeah.
So
cool.
All right. Yeah, Josh, you got the list. Roll out the.
Yeah. Well, I'll try to not spend too much time. So I watched a few movies. 2 movies in the theater. So while I was in Dallas,
okay,
we were recommended to go to a Galaxy theater and see in Sony Digital, because we wanted to go see Oppenheimer.
Ooh,
so it was because it was still
in
theaters.
the theater. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
So we got to do that, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I saw it on a big screen. I'll just say that.
Do you agree with what I don't remember when I mentioned this, but it's just you understand why it won so many.
When nominated,
or nominated at least.
Hasn't
for so
won
many
anything
things.
yet on the Oscars because the Oscars hasn't happened yet.
Well, yeah, no, but
got nominated for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it got named because it's just
it won
like
a bunch of other things. Yes.
Yeah.
But no one cares about anything but the Oscars.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even care about the Oscars.
No, but yeah, even when we do our movie, it's like we talk about if it won.
Yeah.
You know, for that we don't really go. There's so many other things.
Yeah, there's like all kinds of awards things.
Yeah. But that's sweet. Yeah. So
yeah, it was good. The only thing I'll say is like it was fascinating. I would say the way the editing and pacing was not like you normally would do with a drama, but it was a drama. So like, I think that's what made it feel different. Like it was cut more like an action. Like the editing was cut more like an action, but it was a drama. So like it kind of gives
was
it
it good though, the editing?
Yeah, no, I think it was good, and I think that was. And then the other thing that's crazy is like, I know they shot the whole thing on the 70 millimeter IMAX stuff practically.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
So, the shallow depth of field in some of the face. So there's definitely shots where things are slightly out of focus, and yet I think it's one of those things where I imagine it's just because they had different takes, and they decided even though this is slightly out of focus, I like this take better than the couple takes that were in focus or something, because they shot with that resolution of a camera and with the shallow depth field they were shooting those faces with it's almost impossible to get perfect focus all the time. But
how did you like the cinematography? Because this is the guy we've been mentioning.
No, it was great.
Boita.
Yeah. But it's also again very different because of the type of movie it is.
But you're saying his style is very modern.
Yes.
It's still
yes.
Or because it's set in an older time, Was the cinematography more an old school feel, or
I don't think. I think they still.
okay?
Well, some of that I was talking about like is like the lighting and stuff too that they do. He does is very modern.
Okay.
Which it's what I prefer. I mean, it's also like the very like Deacon style where stuff's very subtle and soft and natural versus like very harsh. But anyway, yeah. But it was a great movie.
Yeah.
Then the other movie I saw in theaters was Argyle.
I'm going on Tuesday with Lucas and the crew to go see Argyle.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Lucas and the crew. And you mean like your
Work
The work crew, yeah.
After work on Tuesday, we're all going to go see it.
I heard it
Should
was
I-
bad.
Yeah, so should I say what I thought?
I heard it was very
No.
bad.
Listen, I don't care.
Claudia, yeah, your boy though. Hardly in it.
Yeah. He's not in it very much.
What?
That's a misdirection
Yeah.
from the marketing, which is
Are you
another
kidding?
thing that's bad about this movie. Yeah,
I'm not kidding. He's not,
Not
in it a lot.
kidding.
No.
I know.
He's basically just in the opening action scene, which is a lot of what you see in the trailer, and then there's a few other
Yeah.
moments, but like yeah.
Sorry.
What a freaking horrible
I
day
know.
I'm having. I'm having a bad day.
Oh, sorry to make that. But yes, I'll just say I didn't love it. Didn't love it, but I did I did see that in a very cool. So this is what we did after when we filmed in Brooklyn. Instead of staying with the crew at the Mr. and Smith showing, we went to a theater in Brooklyn, movie theater in Brooklyn that's like a single screen that has this really cool like restaurant bar, and it's like an old vintage looking theater, but yet updated screen and like see, and it was a cool experience because we had dinner there even beforehand, like in the bar area, and then went and watched the movie, and
Nice.
the experience was cool. They had like really all the intro. Like turn your cell phones also all these like kind of old school stop motion cheesy stuff with like
Oh,
dolls and
cool.
stuff, and it was really done well, but like
that's
in
cool.
a vintage way, and it was really, so that stuff was cool. But yeah, and it's not. I mean, the movie's all right. It's just it's a little not what you expect in some ways. Yeah.
Whatever.
What's up with modern marketing of movies?
Yeah.
We were talking about that with the musicals recently. Not
Even
saying that they're
and then
musicals.
even the new the Wicked.
Yeah, that's another one.
That's a musical. I mean, it's from a freaking musical,
Mhm.
like stage musical, and then like it's a musical movie, but yet the trailer doesn't show any of it.
Nope.
Yeah. So those are the two I saw in theaters. I also watched Self-Reliance with Jake Johnson,
Yeah.
Andy Samberg, and Anna Kendrick. That was actually, it wasn't bad. I'd say like didn't love the ending, but it was fun. The concept is good.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
I heard it's basically just ripped from a Fincher movie. The plot.
No, is it?
Yeah, the
the-
game by Fincher. That movie. It's like basically
I've never seen that movie.
it's a good movie.
Yeah.
But I think it's like basically the same kind of plot. I want to say.
I don't know. Basically, the premise is he agrees to be in this game, but only because the loophole, so to speak, is like you have to survive for I guess 30 days it was without getting killed. People are hunting you, but
Oh, okay.
they
no.
can't kill you unless you're alone, and so that's why he agrees to do it, because he's like, oh well, I can stay around people the whole time.
Mm.
But then that's where the kind of comedic humor, it's like kind of because it's dark comedy kind of thing, and that's where that ensues, like where it's like not as easy as you think, and then Anna Kendrick plays somebody, like finally comes across somebody else that's like in the game, and so they kind of team up to try to help each other.
It's a good cast. I like all those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It was decent. It was worth watching. And then I saw Queen Pens. It's also a movie based on a
Queen
true
Pens.
story. Has Kristen Bell, Joel McHale, and Vince Vaughn.
I haven't even heard of this.
Yeah. So this is the story about this housewife, which is played by Kristen Bell, that is a coupon crazy lady.
Oh, I've seen clips of this.
And then she figures out that there's the company prints these coupons and somewhere in Mexico. And so then they get the idea, they're like, hey, if we can because she wrote in and complaining about something, and then they sent her these like get one free or buy one get one free or something coupon, and she's like, we can get more of these, because then someone wanted to buy it off of her because it was like for diapers and she didn't have a kid. So it was like this like whole, and then she was like, wow, if I can get more of these, and then she figured out where they're all coming from, and then so they basically, her and her neighbor friend, they make a deal with this couple that works at the factory where they print this stuff, and they have like extra when they print, so like they were just shipping leftovers,
right?
So like that's basically, so then they started selling, and they were making all this money, didn't even know what to do with it, and like, because it's just like one of those things that like they didn't expect anyway. Then and so
that's smart,
but then of course they get caught and
busted.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn plays a postal enforcement person.
How
like,
is he? Because I love Vince Vaughn.
Yeah, he's great in this.
Okay,
because
then
there, so it's him. It's like his side of it is like buddy cop kind of thing, because there's the guy that's just supposed to investigate coupon fraud, and he's like a regional person for like a multi-regional grocery store chain, and so like he just works for them, and he's super anal and like and he's, I forget the actor's name, like he looked familiar, but like he's just like this kind of Zach Galifianakis kind of style like person, and he he's just like, oh, he gets, because even like some old lady has an expired coupon in the scene, and he's like, no, we can't, he's like just. And so then he's like so intense about it. He gives he actually finds like some things, gives it to the FBI, and the FBI like laughs it off. But then there's something they're doing with something with the mail that like flags something with the post service. And then they're like, well, you can't mess with the post service. And then and Vince Vaughn's like the guy that shows up to investigate that. And then he runs into this guy, and and this guy's like so intense, but Vince was like, dude, we gotta work by the rules. And this guy's like ready to like, anyway, it's some funny moments from that too. So their chemistry's good, and then like I said, the ladies are, but and it's based on a true story, which is crazy.
Wow.
And so it was pretty good. And then I'll just mention two things that came back that are just back on that are good comedies. Abbott Elementary's back, which is good, and Not Dead Yet season 2, which is pretty good too. So those two kind of came back, and I did watch like
You're up to date on those?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. I was up to date. I mean, like I watched them a while ago, like the older seasons.
Yeah, I'm very behind in both of those, but I do like those shows. Yeah.
So
nice.
Cool. You watching anything else that we haven't, other than the stuff we were talking about?
Not really. I'm still watching Big Love.
Oh, I did watch the first episode.
Did you really?
I did watch the first episode.
How is it?
Nice.
It's all right. Like there's something I think. Well, there's the idea of it. Like I definitely am all about. Like it like watching a show like that.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of just like, and I need to watch more than one just to be sure. But like the first episode was a little, I don't know, like the acting or whatever is like just a little cheesy.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's
yeah. But and it's because it's kind of feels like of the time from like 20 years ago.
It's definitely.
And like, like something like that, like something if I watched it before back then and then you're watching again, you kind of there's like a nostalgia there. But like for me, because I didn't watch it before, it's a little rougher to watch, as I'd say, is that way.
Fair.
Which is the same issue I have with like watching old episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because I'm trying to get back. I
started
I'm like in end of season 3, but I started back a couple months ago at like the beginning.
I did that too. That's why I'm not watching the new one yet, because I have a few like the last couple seasons still before I watch.
It's just hard for me to watch this because the production value is so bad.
Oh, they're really bad for a long time. Yeah.
And I'm just like, but then I want to get through it because I don't want to. I know I've never watched
it. And it's very slow because every season it just looks like a tiny bit better, but not much at all. And it's like, it's rough the first couple seasons.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love the premise. Like,
it's
because it's a different dynamic. It's like the same. What was it, like Desperate Housewives or something? Whatever. Like the same like.
Oh man, I love
that
show.
Type of show, right?
Yeah.
But like the dynamic of it being one guy married to multiple women.
Yeah.
Like you don't get that in most. So like it is,
it's taboo.
They should redo it.
They should.
Honestly.
That would be really cool.
It's a perfect one for a streamer to redo and
absolutely.
And
yeah.
Or HBO, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I haven't really been watching anything.
don't know. It's supposed to, maybe it just came out today or maybe tomorrow. Love is Blind is back. So there you go.
New season, yeah.
New reality.
Reality check.
Oh, wait, is this the one that's from DC?
I don't know.
Remember we were talking about that?
Now I gotta watch it.
Wait, yeah, because we were talking about that
They
last
report
time.
back.
Definitely
Yeah.
report back. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right, because they were doing auditions.
Yeah, they were doing.
Please download it so that I can watch
casting
it.
calls for.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited.
Wait, yeah, are they
See
actually?
if I know anybody.
So they're casting there. So they're filming it all. It's all going to be there.
Yeah,
at
think
it's
DC.
that's where
filmed in the state.
Yeah,
that
because
they
I
do.
remember
Okay.
the different podcasts I listened to, because they did one in Seattle or something.
Mm-hmm.
A guy watched that season, even though he didn't watch any of the other seasons, just because it was filmed in Seattle.
Right. The last one was in Texas, and everything happened in Texas.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let me know, because
Yeah,
I might
well.
watch
Dude,
it. I might
yeah.
watch it just because
I
it's
know.
Yeah.
CC.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. All right. Ready?
Yeah,
about,
let's get into this.
Talk about this, because this is a long episode.
Mhm.
A lot
It
happened.
is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we've got True Detective, Night Country, Part 5, the penultimate episode. Once again, directed by Issa Lopez. And the synopsis: while investigating connections between the Salah... Is that how
Salah.
I knew I wasn't saying that right. Salah and Silver Sky Mining, Navarro saves Leah from a violent protest. Kate McKinnick of Silver Sky cautions Danvers against pursuing the case. All right, so what are your thoughts on this episode?
This was definitely, I'd say the best episode so far, in my opinion, as far as like the story progression and the different elements that are like coming to a head. It's exciting, and I was like, like the whole time I was like, okay, this is getting really good, I'm a little concerned about this being the penultimate, because I feel like there's a lot that needs to get wrapped up in this next episode, but I'm gonna hang on, see.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. I don't know if it's my favorite episode. It is better than the last two, because we were talking about that middle section. It's like,
yeah,
it's kind of rough, and
Mhm.
and again, it's like it's only 6 episodes.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Right.
And even this one, there was more that happened, but like,
yeah,
there's a lot for this last episode, and I don't know how they're gonna do it. But another thing I noticed in the intro, so still directed by her, but I saw it was like 4 writers on this episode.
yeah.
Mm.
I
That's
saw in the
true.
credits. I was like, what? Because every other one she also wrote herself.
Yeah, right. So this one, so we can get into that.
Okay.
Because I know kind of
You know the
where
reason
that
why?
yep.
Okay,
Yep.
good. All right, I was wondering
Um,
about that because that was weird. But yeah, so it's starting to ramp up. But like we're talking about with the 3-act thing, it's like this should be moving along more than it is, and it did.
Yeah, a lot moved along this episode.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But you're right. Like the like second act was pretty like, I don't know. I feel like they maybe I don't know. I have to like sit down and think about it, but I feel like they could have shifted some stuff around
Well, and also,
and had some of this stuff like sprinkled into like maybe the last one and then move, just to make it a little bit.
yeah, and I don't want to rehash what I said last pod, but it's like if they're all directed by her, there's not a lot of different directors, clashing, and like
Mhm.
I feel like she could have done a tighter story with it, especially with only 6. We talked about Monarch, like they could have cut out a lot of that.
Yeah.
It's like, but that was different directors also,
Yeah, you
right?
started running. Yeah.
So this is,
Different writers.
I'm
yeah.
assuming she directed the final one too, right?
Probably.
So anyway, but yeah, that's
Yeah, I was like, other than I think the first episode was pretty good, like the setup of everything.
Mhm.
It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
And had some. So it's like maybe I'd have to obviously go back and watch it to like
Yeah,
really be like,
sure.
hey, which one's better? But definitely the best episode other than that one,
Mhm.
I would say.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get into what happened. All right. So opening scene is
Wait, do you want to get into the writers, or are you going to do that later?
well, I mean, it has to do with the spoiler. It basically has to do with like the ending of this episode.
Okay, well, we can wait then.
So,
We can wait then.
Yeah. But yeah, so we open with Julie's body being cremated, and then Navarro getting her remains, right?
Mhm.
Then Danvers questioning Otis. Yeah. So about the entrance to the cave.
He's a really good actor.
Yes.
Yeah, he
I
is.
mean, he's a very good junkie.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And he looks horrendous.
Yeah.
I mean, almost looks not real.
Good makeup work and stuff
for
too.
sure.
I also thought the opening shot was really cool. How they did it with the, you know, all the with how they were burning the ashes and everything. Just the opening scene, I did like that a lot. How they did that.
Yeah, it was shot and edited. Yeah, because
Mm-hmm.
even like, and then when she pulls it in the overhead shot of the urn, and she's like, "Careful, it's hot."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yes, yeah, yeah. So, what do you think of Otis? Other than that, like,
I mean, depending on what he saw in that cave, I understand why he's on heroin.
Sure, yeah.
Because of all the things that have happened in the show so far, which has been some crazy things, it would definitely lead you to be doing some heavy drugs just to escape the horrors, you know?
Yeah. So then Danvers and Navarro try to go to the caves, and they see that they were
Suddenly.
they were caved in and destroyed and whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so they can't get in the normal way.
Mm-hmm.
So then Peter is kicked out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Imagine.
That's ridiculous.
It is.
We already talked about this though last time.
I'm not going to say it again. I
Yeah,
already said my
yeah.
piece, but yeah. Baby, what is you doing?
Yeah.
So then he decides to bunk up with his dad, which, I mean, I understand.
It's a regular Johnny Cash, that guy.
I like that. I like that scene of him playing and singing. Sounded like he was actually singing,
Yeah,
and he
he
was
did.
actually playing too.
Yeah.
And
Too bad he's
I like the song too. It was good.
a maniac.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
this was the calm
All the
Mhm.
good
before
artists
the
are,
storm.
aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah, don't want to be too good at that art because
yeah. Those crazy musicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we get Leah and her girlfriend heading to a protest. So typical teenager and their
Yeah. And then
For the
finding
audio
out that
listeners,
the
this-
love really is like knee deep shallow
yeah
because she's just like, and then leaves.
yeah.
Shocker.
As soon as she's getting attacked, she's like,
For the
"Oh."
audio listeners, you need to watch the video because the amount of eye rolls Claudia does.
Yeah. There should be an eye roll counter in
There
the
should
corner.
be.
Yeah, maybe when we get an intern to edit these.
Yeah, when we get
Yeah.
someone.
It's too
Yeah,
much work for me.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
yeah.
But yes, this is crazy. And then Navarro like shows up as the riot control, right?
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
one Leah hits her,
Mm-hmm.
and then they turn around and see each other there, and then you're like, what are you doing here? And then but then the other police officer like attacks her, and she defends her, and she ends up punching the guy. Which I mean, like,
Yeah, he was doing
he
police brutality. It was horrendous.
Yeah, it was not good what he was doing, but
No.
like, what a mess.
That was a mess.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
And then we find out, her girlfriend was pretty shallow.
Mm-hmm. Can't handle it.
So then, per Danvers' instructions, though, they lock her up.
Listen, if I was the mother, I'd 100% do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're
She's
going to play
learn.
stupid games. Getting locked up. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a hard lesson.
So then, Peter basically has been doing the sleuthing and connects all the dots to Silver Sky being the one that was funding the company through a couple shell companies, funding the company that then is doing all the research.
Mm-hmm.
So there's our motive.
Yep.
I thought it was interesting. While he was talking about that, they don't mention Tuttle Corporation again, which was the other connection to season 1. But I imagine that would have been part of that connection with the silver mine as well, because he said a couple shell organizations. So I
Well,
imagine
Tuttle-
that's one of them.
Yeah, I think Tuttle, because I thought it came up.
I didn't hear him say it this time because he mentioned that in the first or second episode, but when they were looking into something else with the case. But it's interesting that none of that really has been brought up anymore. But I imagine that was probably part of it. Seems to be that way.
So then Danvers gets called to go there to Silver Sky, and she's like, I don't know what this is about, but I've got this evidence I want to shove in their face.
Mm-hmm.
So she shows up, all chest puffed out, like doesn't even stop at the receptionist. But then she sits down and they're like showing, well, what were you guys doing on our private property? And they have camera footage, security camera footage of Navarro and Danvers visiting the mine cave-in. But she had good reason. They had leads, but she's kind of like, she's not wanting to give away all the police information, but then her boss sitting across from her is kind of like, just like he kind of keep giving her the signal, like keep going. So then she's just like, well, here's our reason why we have these connections, right? So then she's starting to realize like he's not really on her side. And then
case is closed.
Yeah, case closed. Yeah, and then was there Kate, whatever the lady's name is from Silver Sky, like she leaves, and then he lays into her about like the Wheeler case.
I'm sorry, it wasn't a good lay.
That was good.
Yes.
My sympathies.
Right, because that's right, because she slept with her husband or whatever.
Yeah. Whew.
She slept with everyone in the town.
She sure did.
That was a line in like one of the episodes I wasn't here to record with. Like Danvers is like, or Navarro, I'm sorry, says to Danvers, she's like, who haven't you slept with in this town? And
she out hoeing.
Because she was on Tinder. And she's like, I changed my range.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so he mentions the Wheeler case, and like kind of like he knows that it wasn't a suicide. Not a suicide, which I love that scene from. I know I wasn't here for that one either, but I love that scene when she's repeating and telling him about it.
Yeah,
telling Peter about it, and we're seeing it how it happened. Yet we're hearing her do all the lying.
Yeah,
and it was like I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, so then of course Danvers knows, like, is like, how does he know about Wheeler? And so then we see Kate privately meet with Hank, and subtly, not so subtly, telling him to kill our scientist
Otis.
Or engineer Otis. Yeah, is he engineer or scientist? Something.
Engineer.
That's what it is. Yeah, Otis the engineer.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not a killer.
She can't find what's under that ice, she says.
Yeah, so then, there's like the short scene where these are the kind of scenes that I think feel just like out of place. Like the scene where the guy just all of a sudden introduced somebody to Navarro, and then like he's like, oh yeah, I've got this stone with the spiral, and then he's like
yeah,
and then he's like, oh yeah, and then like out of the blue is like, oh yeah, well, they call those tunnels or like night country, and you just you just break,
walk away from it.
Yeah, and then you can just like, but when we were kids, we would just break in from go from the top of it. And you're like, oh, this is here to plant the idea, but like otherwise that scene makes no sense. It's just kind of so those are the ones that feel out of place and not as well written as it could have been.
Also, some random guy just knows what the spirals mean.
Yeah. And
barely.
Navarro wants to continue the case, but Danvers is like, no, Connolly, close the case. We can't do anything. She leaves angrily, and she lets Leah out of jail to kind of like stick it to
the man.
This is the Pepsi scene.
No, that was earlier.
Before.
When she gets locked up, then Peter brings her the Pepsi.
Which, by the way, Spiral Cheetos?
Yeah. I know. I saw those.
Where is that?
I don't know.
And where can I have them?
But don't you get it, Claudia? It's Spiral Cheetos.
But I mean, I think they exist, right?
I don't know. I haven't seen them.
That makes me think of those. Like, what are those? Also, those new flavors of Doritos that they were advertising, and it was. I only saw it because I watched some of the ads. I didn't watch Super Bowl, but the Jenna Ortega's ad with her.
I didn't see
both her grandmothers, and they're advertising Doritos, and there's like these new.
They do exist.
Yes.
They do exist.
Look up the other. I think it was Doritos.
Also,
Twisted.
Nice.
I like what Claudia said in the scene about Pepsi. Do you want to elaborate? This was funny.
So he hands her the Pepsi, and she's like, I don't like Pepsi. I was like, I'd rather have the poison water than drink that Pepsi in the town.
Those are your early
No,
options.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll
Yeah.
take the black water coming out of the faucet.
For people that don't know that are listening and watching, we're a Coca-Cola household.
That's right.
I'm with you on that. But
So Jenna Ortega, you said?
yeah, in the Super Bowl commercial, I think it's Doritos.
Yeah, I didn't watch anything. The only thing I cared about was the Deadpool trailer.
Yeah,
that was like the
trailer
only
was
thing.
amazing.
Doritos Dinamita?
Yep.
Should we watch it?
I mean,
No,
not for podcast content.
not during the. Man,
What's
Claudia's
the
just
flavor?
make
There's two. I think there's two flavors. They're like
Claudia giving you more work to do for editing.
yeah. No, I mean, so far we're good. But like,
yeah.
if you're gonna
Don't
sit
play
and
the
watch
video. Yeah,
sit
don't.
and watch a video.
All right, I'll have to look up this later because
Yeah.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, that's so. There's more than one new flavor.
They look like Takis
Okay.
because they're rolled up.
Oh yeah.
Smoky chili con queso and flaming hot.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
they just look like Takis.
Sounds yummy.
Yeah, I mean,
That
10 out of
is-
10,
that sounds
especially that
good.
chili queso.
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Shoo!
Chili queso for
Look at
sure.
that.
Yeah. So then we go to the scene with Rose helping Navarro dig into the ice by the ocean so she
Mhm.
can send her sister out to sea,
Mhm.
which was kind of a sweet thing. But then
Yes.
like she gets the hallucination and starts
Mhm.
going out to sea.
Literally walking out
Yeah,
like her
and-
sister did.
Yeah, and of course Rose like is yelling, but like
Mhm.
didn't hear her. So I feel like the scene after she wakes up and Rose is kind of trying to help her back
Mhm.
was a little cheesy.
It was.
There was like overly dramatic, but like nothing looked like it was
Yeah,
that dangerous.
Yeah.
But like they were acting like it was dangerous, so we were supposed to think it was
Yeah.
dangerous, but it didn't look
Yeah.
dangerous.
Yeah, I agree.
What is this dry land she keeps entering to?
Yeah, the flashbacks to the
Yeah.
desert or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What is this place?
So then Danvers, realizing Hank informed Connolly about the Wheeler case, she deduces that he must have hacked onto Peter's
Mhm.
laptop. So then she interrogates Peter. But this scene was actually great, though. Like the interaction
goodness.
and acting and that dialogue between
Oh.
Peter and Danvers, and
Mhm.
she's like, "Ask me the question. Ask me
Wrong
the
question. Ask the right one. Yeah.
It was good.
It's
Yeah,
great.
we've been saying like through these pods that like I think they're the two best actors on here because obviously Jodie Foster
Yeah,
is, but like
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he is
He's
really
very
good.
good.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't. Did we talk about him? I don't think I've seen
never
him in anything. Yeah.
No.
But yeah, he's very good
Oh, he's
in this.
great. Mm-hmm.
So without admitting, like he kind of knows the answer, but like, but then she's like, go sleep in my shed before
Yeah, you can't stay with your dad.
which is like, I get it, but then at the same time, again, it's like for plot purposes to get him so he's
Mhm.
there but not there is
Right.
kind of like, but anyway. So then Danvers goes and picks up Otis.
Mm-hmm.
Decides, hey, I'm done waiting around. Let's I'll give
give
you
you-
what you want if you give me what I want.
Mm-hmm.
So she's gonna let him do some drugs as long as he tells her where the top of the mines are. So we get the scene of that, and then he goes off into the bathroom to do his drugs. And while she does it, she calls Navarro to come over. They're gonna head. He's like, come over to my place. We're heading over to the mines.
Mm-hmm.
So she's on her way, and then she hears a knock at the door. But it's Hank, and she's like, "What are you doing here?" And he's like, "Well, I'm looking for. Here, Otis is here, or something." And
No, he didn't say that. He was like, I was looking for Otis. I got to take him in.
yeah,
Something
but
about-
he did say something that implied that Otis was there, because then she's like, "How do you know he's here?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "I didn't know." Like it was like worded so that you could take it both ways.
Oh, okay. I see.
Because I remember thinking, I was like, "How did he know?" Because the way it was
Mhm.
worded, and then
Yeah.
like we didn't say specifically he was there, but he was like,
Okay.
"I came to
Yeah.
get Otis" or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it was like,
I
but
just came here for you to point me in the right direction.
yeah. And then he's like, and then she's like, "Let me call Connolly."
Mm-hmm.
And then he
And
grabs
takes
her
the
gun, which, by the way, earlier in the scene where she takes the gun and sets it on the counter. I was like, oh, that's not a good idea.
I know. Then
No.
immediately I
It's
said
like,
the same
you're
thing. I
just
was
like-
like, well, that's not gonna end well for sure.
Just like, especially because it was like not like, I feel like those are the kind of things where then if you're like, that's what I want to happen,
Yeah.
then you go back and you write a scene in every episode where she's always taking him out and setting him down.
Yes.
Right. Sure.
And we didn't have that.
No, she always had it on.
We never even saw her really like mess with it that
Right,
much. So it's
yeah.
like all of a sudden, and it's like that. Then it signals that something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Versus
Yeah.
like
Definitely did.
you could have made it way more subtle. But anyway,
Mhm.
that's just
So like character inconsistencies that
Yep,
are
yep.
like for plot purposes.
Yeah,
It's
yep.
yeah.
But yeah, so he grabs the gun, and then Otis comes out. What's happening? And then ends up shooting Otis, and then shooting him again to make sure he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then because of the gunshots, Peter shows up.
Mhm.
Gun out already.
Yeah,
Comes
yeah,
around
'cause
that corner.
Well, as he should.
Yeah,
He's a cop.
yeah,
He's a good cop.
absolutely, yeah.
And so he heard gunshots. He's ready to
Mhm.
see what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And but again, great scene.
Great scene. Great acting.
Like her, like
Yes.
she just keeps saying, like, think about it,
Think.
think about it,
Yeah.
think about
Mhm.
it.
Your
Like,
think.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like it was funny when she's saying that. Like, there's so many. Like, I was like, okay, is she telling him to think about it, like trying to figure out what really happened in the situation? But then I'm
Mhm.
like, and then I'm like, or no, like, because it's like later, like the third or fourth think about it is like, or is she telling him to think about it because she knows he's about to shoot his dad?
Yeah.
And like, she's like, do you really want to shoot your dad?
Yeah.
Like there's like so many layers to
Yes,
that.
there
and so
is. For
the delivery
sure.
is so good. And anyway,
Yeah.
I just, that,
And then when she finally, like, he ends up cleaning so that, because Navarro shows up, obviously.
Yeah.
Sorry to.
no,
take
no,
everything.
you're good.
But, like, when he realizes he has to stay back and clean and he steps up to that plate and Jodie Foster's looking at him like, tears in her eyes, and she's like, no, it's like you can see how she hurts for him being in this situation because she was in that situation and she doesn't want that for him.
Yeah.
And it's so evident in her acting that that's what she was
Oh,
trying
yeah.
to portray, and it was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rest, yeah. So
Great scene.
yeah, and then he stays to clean up, and then they head out to
The Night Country.
yeah, and then I mean it just faded black
Mm-hmm.
on them driving across the bridge.
The credit song. What are you doing?
Oh, what was it? I do remember. I was like, wait.
I was like, this
I
is horrible.
what was it?
Is Save Tonight was the song,
Oh, yes.
but a horrible cover of it. And again, they've been doing this a lot in this
yeah.
in this season, but the one we had before this was good that we heard.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was it was a cover because it was different vocalists.
It was definitely a cover.
Yeah, that one I liked, but this one,
Mm. Yeah.
who was that? Semisonic, I think, is the band that did Save Tonight.
Oh.
People are yelling at me. Sorry,
know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
One of
that
those
stuff-
bands from around that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, this is a. Anyway,
So
sorry,
back to
that
the
was-
writing thing. So
Yeah.
the basically the general writing or initial like scripts, she knew Hank had to die.
Oh,
So
okay.
she was like, Hank is going to die. But like how to get it there
Mm-hmm.
and how to make it feel motivated and feel okay, like that's where she struggled. And so they had some of these other people gave input and helped write some of the other stuff in this to get it to there. And so that's where
Gotcha.
why they were credited, because it was like she's like, I know this needed to happen, but like she couldn't crack it on how it would make it happen.
I see.
And I think in general, like it was well done, because I mean, and even going back to like him beating him, like and stuff. So like
Mhm.
there's but,
Yeah.
He's not a good guy.
No.
Not a good man at all.
no. And then of course we set up that. Of course, we skipped over. He confesses that like he's like, yeah, I need you to know I didn't kill her. I just moved the body.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
That
now
was-
she's got that confirmed that he
Yeah.
was a part of that. Yeah. Goes deep. Goes deep down.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like I mean, so what do you guys think is coming up? Like, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like kind of already confirmed. We know the conspiracy is like they have the shell corporations that hide the fact that they're funding this research facility that's basically just being paid to, cover up all the stuff they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
what they're doing.
The
like
pollution.
yeah, the pollution. But yeah,
The one thing, though, I think it's going to be hard for them to explain it, and I don't think they will, is like why some people can see like the dead, and like more of the spiritual aspects
I get
to the
that.
story. I don't think they're going to have a good way of explaining that.
I mean, it just kind of sounds like there's so much corruption going on with the white man. And the spirits they can't rest until, how like
Okay.
in some stories, it's like spirits can't really rest until their mission is complete, sort
Okay.
of thing. Maybe it's heading in that sort of direction where the corruption with, the water and the
Mhm.
locals and the stillbirths, they're all just kind of like, it's all coming to a head. And
Okay.
Yeah, that scene where she goes to see all the coffins that they can't bury yet because
Mhm.
it's too frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm wondering if there's like some kind of whatever is in the water is creating hallucinations,
Oh.
and that's where some people are having hallucinations. Because even Danvers, like with the one-eyed polar bear mixed with like
Mhm.
the teddy bear, like like that matches, like
Yeah.
that's either some kind of supernatural thing or just a hallucination, right? And
Sure.
yeah, so I don't know if there's going to be some kind of what it is, and it's something that's creating.
It's like a literal problem.
Yeah.
And not
yeah,
the spiritual realm at all.
yeah. I mean,
Interesting.
might be able to connect all that enough to make it feel like, well, okay, it's believable. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we'll
We'll
see.
see.
We'll see. We'll see. Any last thoughts on this one?
No?
Nope.
Well, what do you
I
guys
just-
think?
I just hope they end it well.
It feels like Navarro might die because of her interaction with Kavik, though. Come back.
Mm.
And she's like, yeah, I'll come back.
Yeah, that
Come
seemed
back.
like
That seemed
foreshadowing.
like,
Oh,
yeah.
right. Another like.
Yeah, that seems like she's not coming back.
She seemed a little too sweet to him too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Gross.
they're also like because she's so like put off by him most of the time.
Yeah. She's got a
But
tough
she also
exterior.
did just lose her sister,
Yeah.
so there can be a little bit like, okay, like I'm
Nothing
feeling.
makes you crave love like grief.
Yeah.
Tell you
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But what did you guys think of this episode? You can write us or leave a comment with feedback or thoughts of this episode, or email us at feedback@screentimepod.com. And if you'd like, you can follow us on Instagram. I'm at jyoungbar.
I'm at Claudia Youngbar.
I'm at Jered Youngbar.
All right. And if that, we'll talk to you guys next week.